elementary classroom has its fair share of oddballs. My grade had Mr. Whiskers. Mr. Whiskers thought he was a cat. Now, the kid told everyone to call him by this name, and this name alone. He seemed to be a pretty harmless child overall. Sure, he would pretend to cough up fur balls, and he'd climb up on the top of the desk and lick his hands, even rub up against your side and purr at you. It was normal for him. It was just how he was. Everything he did was typical of a cat. In a way, his presence was great for me and my other friends. We loved to play role-playing games at recess. He made an excellent animal companion. I was never mean to him, and I never judged him for being that way. Some of the other kids liked to call him Freak, but my friends and I rolled with his game. It was kind of fun sometimes. I was never scared of him. I just thought he was trying to be funny. We were skipping rocks by the lake one weekend afternoon, and he turned to me and said, "Meow, meow, do you want to meet my brothers and sisters, meow?" I was too curious to say no and followed him along blindly. He led me to a shed in the woods. When he saw it, he started to crawl on all fours. I could hear the distant meows of some cats. I slowly followed him into the shed. A tabby clawed at my pants. Another jumped at me from the rafters and left scratches on my arm. The shed was full of these feral cats. They were hissing and screeching at me. I took a couple of steps back as Mr. Whiskers crawled into the middle of the room. He hissed once, and they all stopped. They turned towards his call, and their yellow eyes gleamed up at him. There was a tiny section that had been taped off in a square. No cat dared to cross this line. Within the square was a bunch of dead mice and rats. "Come eat," said Mr. Whiskers. He was looking at me. The cats all started to meow. I watched the kid pick up a rat by its tail. He lowered his head and bit off a huge chunk. I watched his blood drip down his chin. He looked up at me. "Meow," he said, and they all meowed back at him.